Well, I managed to jam my finger pretty good the other day, so last night I just needed a relaxed training session. And for the first time since Diesel arrived about 6 weeks ago, I decided to work my two horses together. So Diesel has been doing fantastic on his own with riding, lunging, and honestly most things I've thrown at him. But he's still just a big baby. He's only 4 years old, and I can tell we still have some foundational young horse work to do. He doesn't have huge spook reactions, but there are definitely plenty of things he's a little unsure about. He'll just kind of look, get really tall, snort a little bit, take a moment to process, and then he's pretty good at letting most things go. But some of the bigger objects, he's been a little bit more unsure about. So I figured this was a good opportunity to pull something out of the scary object corner in the arena. And Marengo has seen it all before. While he'll always be a sensitive, expressive, rather dramatic horse with plenty of opinions, he's not actually afraid of these things anymore. I chose the giant teddy bear because I'd casually shown it to Diesel the other day, and I could tell already we were going to need to spend some time on it. And one thing I like to do is not try to tackle a big scary object all in one day. The first session is usually just a casual introduction. Let them stand there, process it, maybe pick it up, put it back down, let them think about it. The goal isn't to get them completely over it that day. It's simply for them to leave thinking, well, I encountered that, nothing bad happened. And that's a really good place to start from. Now, working two horses together can get complicated because, of course, you're managing the emotions, reactions, and behavior of two different animals at the same time. So it's not something I'd recommend unless you already have a really established relationship with at least one of the horses, and that horse is a confident horse. But in the right situation, a confident horse can become an incredible training tool. I've actually used this approach quite a bit over the years. I've worked horses together to build confidence, and I've also used it to teach quite a few tricks and behaviors like lying down on cue or stepping onto the pedestal. Honestly, I've been pretty surprised by just how effective it can be. Horses are herd animals, and they're naturally wired to pay attention to what the other horses around them are doing. So they learn a lot through observation, and a little bit of copycat behavior comes very naturally to them. Obviously, they don't learn everything this way, but a calm, confident horse can go a long way towards helping another horse think, maybe this isn't such a big deal after all, or maybe I want to try this. Now, this session didn't go perfectly, so I'll do my best to explain my thought process as we go. While Marengo is very expressive and tells me exactly what's on his mind, Diesel is a little more subtle, and I'm still getting to know him and learning to recognize his quieter signs of, hey, that's a little too much, or I need another minute. He's also a draft cross, and as I've noticed over the years, drafts tend to process a little bit more slowly than the lighter horses, for the most part. So that's why you'll see me taking some extra pauses and just giving Diesel some time to work through things, even when he doesn't look visibly upset. Most of what I'm watching is in his eyes, his mouth, and the tension in his neck. So I started with both horses loose, just at liberty, and invited Marengo over to do a little work around the teddy bear, leaving Diesel completely free to decide whether he wanted to participate. I was just curious what he'd do, really. It gave him a chance to observe Marengo as well, since this was the first time I'd had them together in the arena. They're pasture mates, so I wasn't worried about them getting along, but training definitely changes the dynamic. So after a few minutes, Diesel did come over to see what was going on, pretty reluctantly. And at first, I just simply asked him to stand there while I worked with Marengo around the teddy bear. Then I asked Marengo a few simple questions, like touching the bear, and rewarded him. Just let him interact on his own a little bit, and just let Diesel observe. After that, I gave Diesel the same opportunity. He was unsure at first, but I kept the questions just really easy. And before long, both horses were curiously interacting with the bear. So even then, I could tell Diesel was pretty unsure. He was only comfortable with the bear if it stayed right in front of him where he could watch it. He didn't want it on his sides or anything. So I just started bringing the bear around Marengo's sides and touching him with it. And you'll see Diesel sidestep a little bit and get a little tense. I always try to work right around the edge of the horse's threshold, just challenging them a little bit, but respecting what they're telling me. I just let him see the object from different angles, but I never chase him with it. If he needs to move a couple of steps, I'll retreat or lower the bear. The great thing is having the horse just follow the object so that it's always moving away from them and it's not threatening them. The goal is never to prove that he can't get away from it. The goal is to show him that listening, thinking, and staying engaged is the correct answer. And at this point, Diesel gets activated enough that we needed a little reminder of our basics, just our whoa, back up, and standing still. And he's still really green with Liberty and Groundwork, so those responses, we don't really have them firmly established yet. So here I can feel that he's getting a little too activated, so I step away from the bear for a minute to do a little desensitizing. I just grabbed my neck rope just as a non-threatening object, just to break it up a little bit. And then here Diesel gets a little too worried and Marengo gets a little too eager to participate. So we stop, reestablish everyone's place, and just take a pause. And looking back, this is where I think I made a mistake. I should have moved the bear further away because Diesel was still feeling too pressured between Marengo and the bear. Diesel here. Oh. Diesel here. Good boy. Oh. Good. Good. He's going over. That's there. It's okay. Oh. You can see that we lose our backup and our draw here, which again aren't very established yet, so not surprising. So I leave the bear completely and spend some time working around the outside of the arena with Diesel, and I did cut part of this because it really wasn't on camera anyway. It's kind of out of view. And at this point I completely forget about any expectations with the bear and just go back to the basics with Diesel. He's the kind of horse that gets worried when he doesn't know the answer, and he really doesn't want to be in trouble. He's still a little unsure of the whip at times still, and we're both still learning each other. I think Diesel had some rough experiences before I got him, but he's honestly just the sweetest guy. He does have a spur scar on his side. When he first got here, he was pretty reactive to even like raising your hand too quickly or lifting the whip. He just felt a little threatened by it. And he's already warmed up so much, but when he does think he's in trouble, he disconnects, and it does take him a little while to come back and feel safe enough again to engage. The thing I found that's best for Diesel when he gets worried like that is simply a long pause and some reassurance. I know some trainers will probably roll their eyes at this, but I just love on him. I just tell him he's okay, he's safe, he's loved, and that nobody's mad. And I know he's back with me when he lets out several yawns in a row. He's just such a sweet baby. For this session, I honestly wasn't sure we would come back to the bear, but it was still left out there in the arena, and after this, he seemed good. He seemed ready to try again, and this time he did interact with it much more confidently. I did end up tying Marengo off to the side of the arena. He was patient for quite a while, but eventually he started wanting my attention, and at that point, Diesel really needed all of my attention. Plus, by then, Diesel had already gotten what I wanted him to from watching Marengo in the beginning with the bear. Excellent. That's a good boy. After working through some tension, Diesel becomes much more confident with the bear here. By the end of the session, we even had it on his back or on his legs, and he was handling it really well. Although it's never my goal for a horse to become upset, I actually considered this a huge win. We just learned a lot about what makes him disconnect, and even more importantly, what helps him reconnect.
Good job, Diesel.
We have to remember that building trust isn't about never stressing your horse out or never making a mistake. You know, it happens. That's life. Building trust is about showing them that they always have a safe place with you and that you'll always be there to help them through it, no matter what they encounter. So I hope you got something helpful from this. This was a little bit more of just a training journal kind of post. If you like this kind of post, just please let me know in the comments, and also feel free to ask any questions. I would love to hear what's on your mind and what questions you have so that I can address them in future videos. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more content like this.